All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. In this video here, I'm going over this whole LeBron James is some kind of super passer thing. Now, I want you to hear from Chris Broussard and Colin Cowherd of how they view LeBron James as a passer, so you can get the proper context of what we're dealing with. Here you go.
Long time I thought Magic was number 2 to Michael. LeBron's a better version of Magic, and Michael is a better version of Kobe. Is that fair?
That's very fair. I actually would agree with that. That's right on the money. LeBron is not as much like Magic as Kobe is like Michael, but he's very similar. He's a pass-first guy, but they both made their teammates better.
So you heard these guys. They think he's the second coming of Magic Johnson. What a joke, right? Well, has anybody ever stopped to think, what did LeBron James do? What was he like as a passer before he started playing on these super teams? Or at the very least, having a player like a Dwayne Wade, like a Chris Bosh, a Kyrie Irving, a Kevin Love, an Anthony Davis, now even a Luka Doncic, that's going to improve your assist numbers. And couple that with the fact of how easy it is to get stats in the modern era, it's a joke. And if you want proof, you want receipts, I got all kinds of receipts. In LeBron James' first 7 seasons when he was on Cleveland, his assist numbers, they were pretty good, but they were nothing special. Here you go, take a look. So 2003-2004 season, he averaged 5.9 as a rookie. Okay. 04-05, 7.2, 05-06, 6.6, 06-07, 6.0, 07-08, 7.2, 08-09, 7.2, and 09-10, 8.6. So his average assist per game is under 7 for his first 7 seasons, 6.95. He had 5 years of 6.5 assists per game, okay? The reason why that number is important is because there was another rookie in the same season that had very similar numbers to LeBron James, but I never hear this guy being talked about as a pass-first player, this incredible passer. I just don't ever hear it. But when you compare their numbers side by side, suddenly LeBron doesn't look all that impressive. Dwayne Wade, what did he do in his first 7 seasons before he joined LeBron? His rookie season in 03-04, 4.5 assists per game. 04-05, 6.8 assists per game. 05-06, 6.7. 06-07, 7.5. 07-08, 6.9. 08-09, 7.5. And 09-10, 6.5. His average is 6.62. Literally 1/3 of an assist less than LeBron James did in their first 7 seasons. So before he had some ultra score to pass the ball to, like a Wade, like a Kyrie, like an Anthony Davis, not to mention Chris Bosh and Kevin Love, he had these guys to get easy assists with. And then, like I said, you pair that with the era being so much easier to score in. This is a big reason why LeBron James started putting up 8, 9 assists per game. It was more about the evolution of the NBA and who he had on his team. You could easily make the case, well, Dwayne Wade had Shaq. Yeah, through 07, but if you look in 08, 09, and 10, he averaged 6.9, 7.5, and 6.5. He actually had 6 seasons of 6.5 assists per game or more. LeBron had 5. He had 1 more season of 6.5 assists plus than LeBron James did. And nobody ever calls Dwayne Wade a pass-first player. That's why I think this whole thing is so overblown and it's such a joke. Now let's compare it to another guy who will never be compared as a pass-first player. How about Michael Jordan's first 7 seasons? And this guy was a scorer in every sense of the word. In 1989, sure, he played point guard. He was putting up good assist numbers and all that. But that was only for about a third of the season. But let's compare his numbers to LeBron. His rookie season, 84-85, 5.9 assists per game. In 86-87, I took out 86 because it wasn't a full season, and he wasn't even playing but like 20 minutes a game in some cases. It was just stupid to even talk. His first 7 full seasons. Rookie season, 5.9. 86-87, 4.6. That's the year he scored 37.1 points per game. In 87-88, 5.9 assists per game. In 88-89, when he just got a taste of being a point guard, 8 assists per game. 89-90, 6.3, 90-91, 5.5, and 91-92, 6.1. His average is 6.04 in his first 7 full seasons. Versus LeBron is at 6.95. So less than an assist per game, less than what LeBron had. That's it. And like I said, Dwayne Wade is within a third of an assist per game. Not until he got a great scoring teammate did his assist numbers start to climb. And then with the ease of getting stats in the league. And I think this whole thing is way overhyped. It's ridiculous, actually. You're comparing this guy to Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was putting up 12 to 15 assists per game. And not to mention just the numbers, but that's just what his game was. A passer, definitely a pass-first guy. LeBron just was not that. He's just a ball hog. He's a I'm the system guy. But listen to Nick Wright here talk about how, LeBron's better than Nikola Jokic at passing. Chris Broussard pushes back a little bit. I did a video on this about a month or two ago about how he's trying to make the case he's the best passer ever. It's a laughing joke. But here you go. Just listen to what he says.
Jokic is the best passing big man ever. LeBron is in the argument for the best passer ever. So it's Magic Johnson, and then so he's in the argument for the second best passer ever. Don't give me John Stockton.
The argument for best passer
is just Magic. Okay, fair enough. You know,
and
I'm
Stockton
fine with
was
that.
A great passer. Larry Bird was a phenomenal passer.
Right. So LeBron's in the argument
best forward, best passing forward ever.
Sure, and I would say other than Magic, the best passer ever is certainly in the argument, but it doesn't matter. He's a better. I believe he's a better passer than Jokic. He's obviously, again, if we're talking about
Jokic averages more assists.
His career high is not what LeBron's career high was.
But every year he's averaging 8, 9 now.
Okay, so for their career, LeBron averages more. LeBron's won an assist title. LeBron's career high is 10. Jokic doesn't have that. Again, I'm not trying to do this. This is where it gets frustrating.
Yeah, it's a joke. So he's talking about what his career average is, what his career high is, and that was in like 2023, I think it was. And, of course, Jokic tied LeBron's career high this last season at 10.2, but that's beside the point. Like I said, this era is much easier to get stats in. And here's my receipt for that. In the history of the NBA, how many players had a season of 30 points per game and 8 assists per game or more? How many do you think there is? What if I told you there was only 7 players ever to accomplish this feat? 2 of them did it multiple times, and 1 of them did it several times. But here's the list. Oscar Robertson did this 6 times. In 1961, 30.5 points per game with 9.7 assists per game. The asterisk indicates led the league. And it was much harder to get assists back then because you actually had to pass the ball towards the basket to a guy who then scored. Couldn't dribble, basically a layup right under the basket. Or maybe he makes a close shot, but there's not going to be any dancing around, going through 2 defenders, shooting a fadeaway. No, that's not how they did it back then. In 62, Oscar Robertson, 30.8, 11.4 assists per game. That led the league. Very impressive. In 64, 31.4 with 11 assists, led the league again. In 65, 30.4, 11.5, again led the league. In 66, 31.3 points per game, 11.1. What a great year. And then in 1967, 30.5 points per game with 10.7 assists. Oscar Robertson did this 6 times. 6. Tiny Archibald had one kind of random season. In 1973, 34 points per game with 11.4 assists per game. He led the league in both categories. It didn't happen again for 16 seasons until Michael Jordan did it in 1989, 32.5 points per game and 8 assists per game on the nose. And then we are now living in the easy to get stats era. And this is all the proof you need. No player did it from 1990 to 2016. So that's what? 27 seasons. Not one player averaged 30 points per game and 8 assists per game. Nobody did it. Believe me, I checked. Whoever you're thinking of, no, he did not. But all of a sudden, here's the explosion of 30.8 assist game. It was only done in the history of the NBA up to 2016. Only 3 players did it. Now, granted, Robertson did it 6 times because he was a very special player. And if it wasn't for winning, I would have Robertson a lot higher. But that was the one thing that always held him back. And he had good enough teammates to at least once get into the finals, but he just never did, not until he hooked up with Kareem, but that's another story. Russell Westbrook in 2017, 31.6 points, which led the league, with 10.4 assists. The next season, 2018, James Harden did it. He had 30.4 points per game with 8.8 assists. 2 years later, Damian Lillard did it. Bare minimum numbers, but he got it. 30 points per game, 8 assists on the nose. Then, 3 years after that, Luka Doncic does it. 32.4 points per game with 8 assists per game. And then the next season, he does it again at 33.9 points per game and 9.8 assists per game. So you're telling me, like I said, the first 70 years in the NBA, it was only done by 3 players. It was done a total of 8 times, 6 by Oscar, once by Archibald, and once by Jordan. Then all of a sudden, since 2017, you have 4 different players that did it a total of 5 times. So we're not supposed to believe that this era elevates players' stats. And I know Jokic is really close, flirting with that kind of stuff. He'll probably get it this year. But the point is, maybe LeBron James's alleged amazing super passing is just maybe not quite as amazing as you guys think it is. He's always got the ball in his hands, but he's not somebody who can do a 30.8 assist season. That was done by a select group of people up until the stat explosion of, I think it was around 2016 is when it really started. And there's your proof. It was done 5 times in the last 9 seasons. But the first 70 seasons, it was only done 8 times by 3 different players. And from 1974 to 2016, that covers 43 seasons. Only 1 player managed 30 points per game with 8 assists per game. And guess who that player was? Michael Jordan, the only player in 43 years to pull this off. LeBron James wasn't even putting up any better numbers than Dwayne Wade was, assisting. Less than 1 assist per game, less than Jordan in the first 7 years. But then he got all these premium scores on his team, along with defensive rules changes, making it so much easier to get stats. They hand out assists like candy now. It's just not as impressive as you guys think it is. And people like Nick Wright, Colin Cowherd, Chris Broussard, Shannon Sharp, that big fat Jabba the Hutt, what's his name, Windhorse, they don't even consider the fact that eras are different. They'll just look at the numbers and say, oh, well, he put up this. Well, this player couldn't do this back in 2005 when teams were scoring 75 points a game. I mean, it's ridiculous. I never seen anything like it. All this to prop up their boy. But I'm here to not only rebut it, but LeBron's just not as impressive as you guys think he is. Without having that premium score to get the assists with, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis, those 3 guys right there. Notice how his numbers then got bumped up dramatically. And then you also put that in with the era. There you go. Back when he was in an era that it wasn't as easy to get stats. He had good scoring numbers, points per game, but his assist numbers, just not really anything special. Like I said, Dwayne Wade had 6 seasons of 6.5 assists per game, where LeBron James only had 5. Now, if LeBron is that much of a great passer, he would have more than Wade. He averages a third of an assist per game more than Wade did in the first 7 years of their career. It is what it is. Less than an assist per game more than Michael Jordan? And Jordan's never going to be confused as a pass-first player. And he's also the only guy over a 46-year period to average over 30 points per game and 8 assists per game. Now that is definitely something special. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. So just one more nonsensical narrative debunked. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.